we get to that, let's tell you what President Donald Trump has tweeted. He has also taken to Truth Social, the social media, and he says, today I've ordered the United States military to launch decisive and powerful military action against the Houthi terrorists in Yemen. They have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft and drones. Joe Biden's response was pathetically weak, so the unrestrained Houthis just kept going. So blaming the previous administration while saying the action that is being taken under him. He goes on to say it has been over a year since a U.S. flagged commercial ship safely sailed through the Suez Canal, the Red Sea or the Gulf of Aden. The last American warship to go through the Red Sea 4 months ago was attacked by the Houthis over a dozen times. So after the attack on the U.S. vessels by the Houthis, this is the counter-strike that is coming in from the United States. Then he also goes on to call out Iran for its backing of Houthis, as he says, funded by Iran, the Houthi thugs have fired missile at U.S. aircraft, targeted our troops and allies. These relentless assaults have cost the United States and the world economy many billions of dollars while this attack continues to come in. So this is what he has put up on social media. Let me go back to Srinjoy. Srinjoy, while many have, of course, spoken about the backing that Houthis have with Iran, there have been strikes previously as well that have been launched on the Houthis, but they've also always struck back. They've also always been resilient. Is it going to be different this time around, and what can be expected?
Well, much will depend on how effective these strikes are. Yes, 24 people have been killed, but are they these Houthi fighters? Are they, is it collateral damage? We need to know that. Also, how effective will the strikes be? How determined will the strikes be? Is this going to be a one-off thing, or are there going to be future strikes as well? Is Trump going to hit the Houthis again and again? Are there going to be missile strikes? Is he looking at long-range aircraft launched from the aircraft carriers? So these, or is it going to be a mix? We don't know. All we've been hearing are military strikes. So presumably they are missiles. Now the question is, they have to be persistent and they have to be effective if they have to reduce the willpower and also the military capability of the Houthis. Also, the supplies that the Houthis get, the military supplies, have to be stopped. So that's why the warning took place. So at the end of the day, how determined is America and how effective is it? There's no point firing missiles and they're hitting 3 tents and 2 camels. They have to be effective. They have to hit the right areas. They have to hit the right military spots. So if that happens, and if this goes on in a persistent way, as opposed to a one-off thing, the British have also done this, Europeans have done this, America has done this in the past. But is this going to be different? Is this going to be effective? Is this going to be persistent? And if it does, will it destroy the Houthi capabilities? If it does, then the Red Sea would be an easier place to go through.
Okay, Red Sea, Suez Canal, crucial trade routes between Asia and Europe as well. Pradeep, Donald Trump has spoken about the attacks on U.S. vessels, and he has also spoken about the attacks on the vessels of the allies, saying that this has had an impact on the world economy as well. Like Sanjay was also pointing out, it would be important to see how effective these strikes are going to be. But the warning that has come in from Trump clearly says that all hell will break loose, asking Iran not to back Houthis anymore.
See, Donald Trump needs business because we have seen from day one, ever since he has taken out the reins of power in his hand, he has been hitting out at all these people who have been trying to target Israel in the past, and also who are trying to hit out at the economy. Because when he wanted a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia, because he knew that at the end of the day, if this war is going to continue, because Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe, this is going for the gas. Oil and natural gas is also concerned. So here also we have seen that the Houthis have been targeting, because so far Hamas as well as Hezbollah almost had been decimated and demolished by Israel during the last 2 years ever since they carried out the attack. But Houthis are continuing with the attack. They're continuously targeting their vessels using mostly drones and some of the missiles. So that's one of the reasons that now the US has gone after Houthis, and he has already made it clear through his social media post that hell will break out. And a message has been sent loud and clear even to the Iran, because Iran had been using Houthis, Hamas, as well as proxies in Middle East so that Iran can have its influence. So now Iran has been warned that stop aiding and abetting Houthis, and if you continue to do so, we are also going to target you. That's what actually the message has been sent. And Srinja was rightly saying earlier, there may be more sanctions on Iran if Iran will not stop backing Houthis, because for the years we have seen that how these terror organizations, whether it's Houthis, whether it's Hamas, whether it's Hezbollah, Iran had been backing them, despite many of them are the Sunni organizations, because Iran had always used them as an asset, as their proxies to have an influence over this area. In this particular strike, Iran, though the Americans have claimed that 24 have been killed, but so far as Houthis are concerned, they are saying that the civilians have been targeted, 14 civilians have died, and which include 3 children, and even the power station has been hit. But then there is always a information warfare going on, because always the Houthis will try to blame Americans for targeting civilians, and nothing of that sort has happened. No, not a single Houthi rebel has been killed so far. That's what actually the Houthis will claim. But so far as Americans are concerned, they have made their intention clear that one, they want the peace in this region. They are going to back Israel. Second, they will not allow Iran to flex its muscle and its tentacles in the region and call shots and use these terror organizations like Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah for its vested political interest and the geostrategic interest. And the third important thing is that they are going to take on Houthis, because at the end of the day, economy matters to not only America and many other countries also. So they will want the Red Sea to be safer and Red Sea to be better, because the Houthis had been controlling this area, and we have seen this thing happening since October 23, when the first time attack took place. And after that, we have seen how the Houthis had been backing Hezbollah. Hamas almost decimated and demolished. The Houthis continue to call shots, and they are the one who have been targeting many of the ports in Israel. And Americans have made it clear that they will stand by Israel come what may be. We've seen that the visa has also been revoked.
Okay.
And there is going to be a zero tolerance towards them.
Okay, all right. We're facing some interruptions. Pradeep will come back to you for that update. Let's also go across to Srinjoy. Srinjoy, while you spoke of the airstrikes being effective, and we spoke about how the Houthis have also struck back every single time, will these airstrikes and the attacks on Houthis hold the answer, or will the United States also have to engage with a lot of diplomatic engagements, especially with countries like Russia and China?
As far as the Houthis are concerned, the issue really for America is Iran. Now, if it's about Houthis having weapons, now if Houthis continue to get their missiles, their short-range missiles from, then naturally Iran comes into the picture. But we have to see how this pans out. First of all, how effective are these strikes? Because it's got to a stage when the world economy has been hurt by the Houthis. Now, instead of ships carrying cargo, going through the Red Sea and up the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean, they have to take the longer route through the Cape of Good Hope, south of South Africa. Now, that is putting pressure on the world's economy. This is not something anybody wants. Plus, of course, this targeting of vessels, whether they are military, whether they are civilian, whether it's white shipping by the Houthis, and the ships can be European, they can be American, whatever.
Okay.
Now, this is not something the West is very happy with. And these attacks have led to Trump's attacks in the past and this one. But the important thing to see is, we know that the American carrier groups are there, but how determined will the attacks be?
Okay.
How effective will they be? And we'll know if this carries on, if these attacks go on for 3 or 4 days,
okay,
then we will know the extent of damage in terms of the Houthi military capability.
Okay, all right. In fact, the region, which is considered a Houthi stronghold, has been targeted by the United States, with Donald Trump saying that the airstrikes will continue. Thank you for joining us for the moment, Srinjoy, as well as Pradeep. We continue